And now for more on the position of the U.S. dollar, we're now joined on the line by Professor Huo Deming from Peking University. Hello, Professor Huo.
Hello, Zhou Yue.
Well, you know, China and the U.S. have shown different opinions on the dollar's position. And how vast are the two countries' differences on this issue? Professor Huo?
Yes, I think the difference is huge. On the one hand, China represents emerging market economies as a whole. In terms of numbers, China do dominate, but in terms of economic powers, U.S. and the European Union still dominate. And it looks like on this issue, on the global currency issue, I think these two countries, or at least emerging market economies versus the developed economy, there's going to be a long debate as to whether the U.S. dollars will be able to still, as before, as a dominant currency. So we shall see.
So, do you think it is possible for the dollar to be replaced as the global benchmark in the foreseeable future? If so or not so, how would that affect the world economy?
It depends on how you define the foreseeable futures. I think in terms of years, within 10 years, it would be quite unlikely that the U.S. dollars will be replaced by any sovereign currencies. And we know from the history of monetary policy and monetary standard that the Bretton Woods was the last sort of a gold standard, the legacy. But after 1970s, I think right now it's about 30, almost 40 years now, we have not seen any supra-sovereign currencies that serves as gold or even something similar things to that. So the current international reserve currency, U.S. dollars, is it cannot be replaced. I would certainly be able to predict things more clearly if China, say, within next 2 or 3 years, and proves itself its economic powers as well as on the capital controls on the currency issues. If that's the case, then I hope someday or in the near future, the U.S. dollars will be replaced by some international agreements on the supra-sovereignty currency.
But many countries blame the U.S. for its monetary policies. Do you think the issue of dollar, the position of dollar, will be a major topic in the next week's G20 summit in London?
That's a good question. Whether it's going to be a major issue, I think now is debating the war of tugs. The reason seems to, judging from the news report all over the world, looks like G20 was not scheduled to discuss this issue up to this moment. But in yesterday and today, I've seen that IMF staff, the chairman, the president of IMF, looks like he's on the side of China. And I would like to see more voices that would encourage G20 to set a discussion agenda on this international reserve currency, especially how countries in the world, not just emerging market economies, should work together and talk to U.S. government so that the U.S. government should know that he bears the responsibility to the world, not just to its own countries.
Okay, thank you, Professor Huo. Appreciate it. That's Professor Huo Deming from Peking University speaking about the position of the U.S. dollar.